Morning guys, I'm gonna start a new segment. Do I call it a segment? By answering questions. So a lot of you actually ask questions on be it on YouTube or on Facebook or other channels that some even emailed me. Okay, so from now onwards we will try and answer all the questions that you guys throw to us. That is including myself or Fadil or Bing or Con. Okay, we will attempt to answer all these questions. Sometimes sorry if we miss it out. Okay, now the first one that I get today is from Vincent. Vincent asked me whether should he go for the Panamera Turbo or the Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid. So basically it's the Turbo S or the Turbo SE Hybrid. I've driven the Panamera Turbo S, and make no mistake, that car is crazy. The Panamera has always to me been a physics defying machine. I've always written many articles about the Panamera, and every single time I said that building a car like the Panamera takes more engineering effort, takes more expertise than... Sorry, Bing just called.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes, sorry, just not driving.
Yeah, I would have guessed so. So I thought I thought whether you want me to pick you up or not, ma. Cause your aircon rosak, right? Huh?
But so long you drop the top in the morning?
True. I wanted to drop the top, but I'm doing a video, so I'm doing a video.
Oh, okay.
See you there.
Okay, I'm here, dear. See you.
Oh, I'll be quite
Okay.
late. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. So Vincent asked whether it's to go for the Turbo S or the Turbo SE Hybrid. Now the Turbo is fantastic. It is very fast. It is the handling is superb. Of course, you have to have the rear wheel steer and the 48 volt active anti-roll bar in front. These two things transform this what was initially a crazy physics defying monster to one that is up another level. Okay, so yes, that's how amazing the Panamera is, be it an S or a Turbo or a Turbo S. I would have answered go for the Turbo, don't bother about the hybrid, were if not for my Sepang experience the other day. After the experience that day, I saw so many things that Porsche did to their hybrids that now I can confidently answer you, go for the hybrid. Now put it this way, as we know, the more complicated your car is, the more chances of things going wrong, needing a fix, right? I mean, there's a reason why human goes outer space, right? There's a reason why we explore new frontiers. There are people who loves to stay home, be safe, right? Just play my video game and have my conflicts, and I can live happily ever after. There are also people who are out there skydiving, base jumping, pushing envelopes. And cars, like the cars that Porsche builds, are cars that push boundaries. And there are people like us, when you can afford, of course now I can't afford, who would want to join the ride in pushing boundaries, in putting our money into companies that align with our vision, align with our philosophy of life, that we don't mind cars breaking down. In fact, we enjoy it. Okay? Because we want to, it is just things that we like. We don't like to see things that are, oh, that car is so reliable, and then it's there doing what it does all the time, right? So that day, okay, let me give you a few examples of what intrigued me the other day. The way the car recharges itself on the track is something my plug-in hybrid will not be able to do. Okay, it will not be able to recharge at that kind of rate, going at that kind of pace. And first thing. Second thing, for those of you who has driven European cars, you would have known that when you depress the throttle all the way down, towards the end there is another click. You know what Porsche did with that in their hybrid mode, in pure mode? When you're in pure electric mode, they allow you to go full throttle at any time, so long as you don't press the last button, the engine will not kick in. I love that. I love that application. That application is a sign that Porsche wants to give you full control on how you want to use your juice, be it the theoretical one or the physical one. So I love that. And of course, the way that car drives, okay, is just phenomenal. The brake feel has always been something that hybrid cars sort of lag behind. Porsche, none of that. You go up the car, you drive it, it feels exactly how a Porsche should feel. Be it the steering, the sitting position, the throttle pedal, the brake pedals, all these are just spot on. So, Vincent, you have the money, go for the hybrid, because it gives you that duality, it gives you that added dimension, that sense of progression. You know, if you have already owned a Panamera or something like an M6 or whatever, right? The Panamera Turbo would just be, oh, a new car, new interior, you know, faster, maybe 2% of the time, right? You won't be going full throttle all the time, but the sensation that you're driving something special, something that whirs you out of your driveway silently, and you can kickstart the engine anytime you want, that duality is rather enjoyable. And of course, that fluorescent green brake caliper is nice. Alright, the next question is from Jean. Interesting question, or it could be a statement. He said that one fine day in the future, car makers might just stuff a tiny nuclear reactor into cars, and then we don't need refueling for umpteen number of years. Nuclear reactors, right, are actually steam engines. I kid you not. All nuclear reactors are steam engines. They produce a lot of heat. Heat boils water. Water turns into vapor. Vapor push things around. That's it. So nuclear reactor actually replaces the coal burner in a steam engine. Everything else remains the same. The whole process where water boils, travels, and then push whatever that is along the way, and then it cools back down, and then it comes back into the reservoir, and then it keeps on going like that, remains the same. Yeah. So steam powered, why not? Yeah, why not? I would have, I'm not sure, I have no knowledge about all this at all, but I would have assumed it needs to be rather big to push something along. I guess so. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. But yeah, nuclear can last very, very long. But it is still using rare elements. It is not considered a renewable energy resource. It is just something that can be extremely clean when you don't have accidents. Sorry, not feeling well. So yeah, nuclear reactors are extremely clean and can last super duper long. if they don't have accidents. When you go into an accident in a car with nuclear reactors, into another car with another nuclear reactor, it's better to use the nuclear reactor to generate electricity and send electricity all into our grids, and then we charge our car using nuclear reactors. That would be a slightly better way. Okay. Now, to me, the next big industrial revolution that will come, hopefully in the next 10 or 15 years, isn't what sort of engine or power that we're gonna use. The next big industrial revolution will be wireless transmission of electricity. Be mindful, I'm not talking about wireless charging. I'm talking about wireless transmission of electricity. Now, every technology starts like this. We started realizing there is something that can be transferred with wires, right? And then as we understand it further, we understand all the waves, all the invisible stuffs that are going on. We also understand that they can be transmitted wirelessly. Okay? This same understanding has turned a lot of things that we see out there. You look at radio waves, right? You look at internet transmission speeds. It is at unbelievable speeds now that just merely 10 years ago, the cables that we have on commercial or home use can never match. And then now it's obvious this technology is there, the wireless transmission of electricity, just that it is now being used for wireless charging, but the technology is there nonetheless. So all we need to do is to wait until we have transmitters and receptors that are so powerful that they can seamlessly transmit electricity in whatever waveform. If you want to argue, or it turns into microwave turns back to what? I'm not a scientist. I failed all my studies. Okay, I do not know anything about all those intricate details, but they can be transmitted wirelessly, right? And there are urban myths that talk about how Tesla has built a station that transmits electricity to a nearby vicinity almost 100 years ago, right? Now, why? Because by the time that happens, we are able to power whatever we use with the most efficient manner of energy transfer. Electricity is way more efficient than burning anything, because when we burn something in our engines, right, a huge portion of it was lost as heat. Okay, you burn it for heat, for generating heat for no reason, instead of turning it into kinetic energy. But electricity is very efficient in that, right? Electricity and electric motors can convert the energy, the amount of energy received into kinetic energy in a very efficient manner. Now, the current problem is energy carrier. I've always been a supporter of electric cars. It's just that I do not think batteries are the best energy carriers out there. What are energy carriers? You can have a tank full of hydrogen. That is an energy carrier. And then you put into your car. If you burn the hydrogen, it is not as efficient as using that hydrogen to generate electricity using fuel cell. You get what I mean? If you generate electricity using the hydrogen that you have in your tank, you are using a more efficient manner. That means you use less hydrogen gas to propel your car, as per you burn the hydrogen gas to propel your car. So understand this now, okay? Energy carrier. A battery, our lithium ion nickel metal hydride batteries. All these are energy carriers. They carry electricity. Okay? So, but the problem with batteries is that they chemically deteriorate over time. They become less and less efficient in letting the electrons pass through, and thus they lose their charge per se. Okay, so that is the biggest problem of this energy carrier. They weigh a lot, they are extremely heavy. Okay, they also deteriorate over time, and then it costs a lot to make these batteries. It uses up a lot of non-renewable resources to create these batteries, and it's not easy to take the battery back to some factory and then chemically reverse the process. It is impossible. You just have to dismantle it, grab whatever you can, and then reuse whatever you can or you could. Now, I don't deny that maybe in another 5 years someone invented some plastics that can be infused with whatever electrical components or that can carry electricity, and that plastic can be molded into the shape of our cars. That means our cars' core structure, the subframe, the body panels, all these things actually are our batteries. I don't deny that is a possibility, but currently the technology that we have, it requires batteries that are in forms that stuffs can move about. Okay, so even if you want your car to be, you want multiple shapes, it might be just made up of small little batteries, which is that's not the right way to do it. So I don't agree with batteries, but I totally agree with electricity. Now, when we can wirelessly transfer electricity, that means there will be a lot of towers with coverage zones, just like our telco towers. Okay, exactly like our telco towers. And if your car or your phone or your laptop or your whatever devices are under the coverage of these wirelessly transmitted electricity, and then your stuffs are powered up, right? That is the logic behind. And this will be the next industrial revolution, where we no longer need to carry energy, but we subscribe to energy. We subscribe to them. We pay them a monthly bill, monthly fee, and then there is a usage quota or whatever, same like our telco plans, but that will be how we consume and use and transfer energy in the future. This is almost a certain, because it's the same as the Wright brothers could fly at a slow pace now, but in a few years, in less than 50 years, men are flying at supersonic speeds. Okay, in another 10 years, we flew at hypersonic speeds. So everything will just scale up very, very quickly once the technology matures, the industry, the accompanying industry matures, you know, because that to me is the ultimate, you know, everything was transmitted wirelessly, and then once we are under the coverage, our cars are powered, we can move. Yeah, of course there will be bandwidth issues, of course, but I think that will be the next industrial revolution. Imagine our laptops do not have to carry batteries, right? They will last very, very long. Even our cars can move without the need to carry a battery, our EVs. That, yeah, maybe not 10 years, maybe 15 years, but I can't be sure. But to me, that is the next way of powering our cars. Okay, another question from Rufi. Hi Bobby, should I be getting the XC40 or the XC60 T5? The XC40 is 255k, and then the XC60 T5 can be had for 289,000. So it's a very small difference of 34,000. So he asked, which one should he go for a 2+3 family car? Now, as a family car, no doubts the XC60 will be more comfortable because it was designed to sit everybody just like a passenger car. Okay, In fact, because the XC60 only needs to cater to 5 passengers, I kind of felt that the second row of the XC60 is actually maybe more comfortable than the second row of the XC90. XC90 has to accommodate 3 rows, and then the second row has to move about. So yeah. So in terms of seating 5 person in a family, it is most definitely the XC60. And yes, they both have similar powertrains because both are T5, but the XC40 is finished in a way that is in a higher trim level because it is R design. So I think this is something good because in global markets, a top spec lower range model actually costs more or less the same as a low spec higher range model. So given that the XC60 is a T5 Momentum, you of course have smaller rims which you can change later on, and then you have the exterior window line garnishing. Instead of chrome, it is in gloss black, which is, some people love black, some people prefer chrome. Okay, other than that, generally you miss out a few features from the T8. Okay, but overall, in terms of a comparison, the XC60 T5 Momentum is definitely worth the extra 30,000 over the XC40 T5 R design. Of course, the XC40 being an R design, it looks more stylish, I would say. You know, you have the R design garnishing and all that, but they serve very different purposes. So if you're a family man, what is this? Where should we go? Media?
Ada stiker.
Tak ada bagi?
Dia tak bagi dekat dalam phone.
Phone ada?
Okey. Nanti dekat dalam atas tunjuk yang tu.
Sini masuk ah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so go for the XC60. You can change the rims later on. Please change the rims.